Hello, my name's Jack and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am back again with another video on Apex Legends. This is the second lesson in the installment of videos I'm going to be doing alongside the gaming merchant. In today's video I'm going to be learning how to strafe. It's a basic skill which I think every Apex Legends player needs to learn, and it's a skill which will help you in the long term of the game no matter what. Some of you might think, oh, it's such an easy thing to do, but some of you might be like me and normally stand there like a potato or almost like a standing target. Well, thanks to the gaming merchant, I had another one-to-one lesson and I learned to strafe. So let's get into it. So to begin with, I had to learn what strafing was and how to use it in Apex Legends. Sure, I heard of strafing before, but I've never really mastered it in any game I've played. However, the gaming merchant told me these words.
Strafing is perhaps more important than even aim in this game. So it's pretty straightforward, and it's just you got to get the basics down.
Yep, he told me that it's actually a more important skill than shooting in the game. If you learn how to strafe, you're basically going to be in the Matrix. That's how I interpreted it anyway. So we went into a private session, me and the gaming merchant in a one-to-one. I thought, here we go, we're actually going to practice. But his first question was, pick a character. At first I thought, why? Why does it matter what character I play? But the gaming merchant soon explained to me that what you had to do is you have to pick a character because every character has different movement and animations. So if you were to play, for example, I ended up going with Pathfinder because to begin with I was like, pick a character? What? Mario? Luigi? I don't know, it could be anyone. But I went for Pathfinder in the end, and the reason I went for Pathfinder is because he's the character I play the most. He's also got quite a thin, player model, and his animations are quite slick as well. So I thought, yep, let's practice with Pathfinder. So once I picked the character, the gaming merchant said, look, come here. He took me into a corner. I thought, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. But what actually ended up happening was he ended up showing me how to change character into a third-person perspective. I didn't even know it was a thing. But apparently there's a way in the training mode you could do this. Who knew, right? So, once we picked the character, he took me to the main step, and then we went through the following. So, I'm going to speed this bit up for you, just because it took me a little while to get ready. But now is when my training really began. My one-to-one with the gaming merchant, my one-to-one dojo lesson with the sensei. We were ready to go. I was a bit disappointed. I wanted to use a charge rifle, but kind of didn't let me, but he's basically told me to use an R99 or similar, which I can understand after I started learning the strafe. To begin with, we started practicing going back and forth and me copying his movements just to understand the way in which strafing works. Now, third person was brilliant for this because it actually allowed us to see the body of Pathfinder and see how his movements were working, so I could just make sure I was doing it correct. I also had to adjust which key I used. Originally I was using I think it was control, but on the mouse, I'm sorry if you're watching this on console because you might not get the privilege, but on the mouse I ended up assigning it to a button, and it just made it a bit easier for me. So we then stood on the platform and I practiced the strafing pattern, and once I learnt it, the gaming merchant told me, right, I want you to try shoot me in as little hits as you could, which is what I did, and we practiced this on and on and on until I finally was able to kill him in one mag, or just about one mag anyway, and that's when we advanced on to the next step. So after I learned the basic of strafing, the gaming merchant upped the ante. He upped the game and he made a even harder challenge for me. What we had to do is we disguised ourselves to look exactly like each other. You couldn't even tell us apart. Two Pathfinders with the exact same name, and you couldn't even tell the difference. We then recorded ourselves strafing between each other, and we put on a live poll on the gaming merchant's Twitter. The results didn't come back, say, in my favour, but I don't know whether or not that's due to my strafing. I'll let you guys decide if you can tell the difference. Personally, I don't think there was much of a difference. I thought we looked quite similar, but obviously people know who the gaming merchant is, the real one, so we were able to tell it apart. But that wasn't a problem for me, because I thought that I'd done a good enough job, and so did the gaming merchant. So after we'd done the mix-up, the mirage trick, whatever you want to call it, we had to put it into a practice. We had to strafe and I had to kill someone, which is what I did. We went into a few games, and to begin with it kind of failed, but then it clicked. And just like my last challenge, I was able to strafe and kill, well, another fellow Pathfinder, I think it was, with a pistol. And how cool was that? I'll put it on the screen now.
Yes! He didn't hit you once! Yes! Yeah!
And I did it with a Mozambique! And just like that, I was able to kill someone while strafing. It wasn't actually as difficult as I thought it would be when putting it into practice, but the difficult bit was actually just learning the movements and sort of pulling it off when I had to in the game. So now it's your time to learn and sort of go through how to do it. So unlike other videos that I've done, I'm not going to go through and show you how to do it so much, because strafing I found isn't really something which I can show you. It's almost something you have to try yourself and just keep practicing until you get it. So again, go into a training match, and if you already know how to go through and make yourself third person, great. If not, you're going to want to make yourself go third person. So to begin with, you want to try and go to the top corner of the map. It's not the easiest to get there, but just keep trying to climb up the rock. It doesn't look like you can do it at first, but once you keep going at it, you'll actually be able to climb over the rock. Once you get into the rock, you want to go and drop everything you have. So you normally start off with a pistol when you go into a training game. Drop it on the floor, drop your ammo on the floor, and you want to go into the corner of the map. Once you're in the corner, crouch, and then look down to the floor at where the sort of plant and shrubbery is. Once you're there, you can then press the escape or whatever the start is if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, and you can go into the menu. When you're in the menu, you can press change legend, and then you'll be able to select the legend. Click the legend and it will then put you into third person. You know if you got it right because you're actually in third person. If you're not, then you're probably not doing it right, and you just need to make sure that everything's thrown on the ground, or make sure you're crouched, or just make sure you're looking down at the floor. Once you're in third person, you need to practice the movement itself. So to start off with, start learning to crouch and just make sure that you're happy spamming crouch, because that's what you need to do at the end of the day. It's probably going to be different off your own controller, but if you're on a keyboard and mouse, if you're using the mouse, just check that you're happy with either control or C. It's up to you, it's your preference. Like I said previously, I changed it to a mouse button myself. But once you've got the crouch down, make sure you're used to crouching and you can spam crouch. Once you've got the spamming of the crouch sorted, you then literally just move side to side and you spam crouch at the same time. Keep moving side to side, and all you're going to want to do is practice shooting whilst you're crouching at the same time. If you haven't got a friend to help you out with this, all you can do is use the practice dummies and just keep doing it before going into a game. And it's as simple as that. I can't give you any more advice on it because, like I said, it's not something I can really teach. It's something you got to keep doing yourself. The main things to remember is to crouch, then to move side to side whilst crouching, and then to practice crouching, moving side to side while shooting. If you get that down, you should learn how to strafe, and you'll actually be able to put it into the game. It's a really handy tool to use, and it's really useful to actually have in the game itself. Anyway, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be many more of these gaming tutorials and lessons from the gaming merchant coming from myself. So if you enjoyed the content, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks again for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Bye.
Yes! He didn't hit you once! Yes! Yeah!
And I did it with a Mozambique!